How fast does an expired listing relist? An expired listing is a seller who had their home on the market with a real estate agent. After a certain period of time, their listing expired and the property came off the market. So that's what we're talking about. Those people who have come off the market, how quickly do they relist? If that's something you want to talk about, you're in the right place. Let's talk. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with Two Listings Per Month, and we're going to talk about an interesting little topic here. Did a little research on my local market. I'm in Metro Denver, and you should do this kind of research on your market to find out exactly what's going on there. But I'll give you some of the stats that are happening here in my market I think are very interesting, and you may find interesting as well. So again, what we're going to be talking about, by the way, right now, it's the end of the summer of 2023, and this is all going to be time dependent because these stats are going to change depending on where you are in the seasonality of your market, as well as where you are in the big giant cycle of real estate over time. But that's where we are. And so I'm going to give you some of the stats that we've got because I think they're really interesting. Here's what we did. I did some research basically over about a 3-month period, and we pulled out expired listings out of our MLS, and we looked at what was going on there. And let me give you some numbers and some percentages and some ideas. And so here we go. We had 665 relisted homes in this approximate 3-month period. And I say that because maybe it was off by a week or so, but it's basically 3 months. And then we've got 64 of those were corporate owned or agent owned. I removed those from my list. You could leave the corporate owned if you chose to, but obviously you don't want to go out to the agent owned. They won't do you any good. They're probably going to relist with themselves. Anyway, so I removed those. I did have it just from the system that I've done. I ended up with 82 duplicates, so we got to pop those out. And what I actually end up with is a list of 520 properties relisted in this 12-week period that actually turned out to be 12 weeks. And what that turns out to be in my market is 43 relisted properties per week. Kind of interesting, right? On average, that's the average there. All right, now in that time frame, we looked at who these people who relisted. Let's get some more stats on them. So this is very interesting. 12 days in my market is the median time to relist. What that means with median, you got to be careful with median and averages. Median is just the middle of the group. So half of the properties relisted faster than that, and half of the properties relisted slower than that. Okay, that's what median is. And that number is 12 days. So these people half of the people are relisting rather quickly within the first 12 days. Interesting. So the old idea that they relist fast is true. That's pretty quick. What else do we've got here? So, and by the way, I'm going to just jump down. I've got a couple stats here. I'm going to give you the average because I think that's kind of interesting as well. We'll compare those two. They fell into place. The average time for a relist in this market, in this group set, was 20 days. 20 days. So that's where you just add up all the numbers and divide by the total number of properties. And what that tells us is that there are a lot of properties that are relisting that take a lot longer, and they're pulling up the average. So if you were to look at the average, you'd say, oh, half the people relist in 3 weeks. And that's not true. Half the people relist in 12 days, less than 2 weeks. So that's why I want you to know the difference between averages and medians when you're going through and doing these stats. All right, so that's kind of interesting. Let's keep going. So what I did was I wanted to break out some time frames because I was trying to figure out when do I want to be contacting these people? How critical is it for me to get out to them quickly? And so within the first 7 days, 37% of the expired properties relisted, 37%, just a little bit more than 1 in 3, relisted in 7 days. So a third of the people are going to be relisting within the first week. That's interesting, right? All right. Then we bump up to 14 days to 2 weeks. At that point, 54% of the properties have relisted. So 54% of the properties, over half, of the properties have relisted in the first 2 weeks. Very interesting, right? Okay. Then we've got the next time frame that I looked at was 21 days. What's happening in the first 3 weeks? 65% of the properties have relisted within the first 3 weeks. Wow, so that's two-thirds of the properties have relisted within the first 3 weeks. Okay, wow. Keep going. We're almost there to the end of my info, but in the first 30 days, so the first month, how many people relisted? 74%. 74% of the people, basically 3 out of 4, relisted within the first 30 days. Whew. Now, I went ahead and extended out then to the next time frame I thought would be 60 days or 2 months. How many people have relisted by then? It's 95%. 95% of the people have relisted within 2 months. So when I'm doing my reach outs, then I want to make sure I get my entire series of reach outs done within those 60 days. That's why I wanted to know that number, because I'm going to have 95% chance of, 95% of the people I'm reaching out to have relisted, the ones that are going to, by the way. Not everybody who expires relists. Okay. I'm talking about the people that relist. How quickly are they making a move? 95% of them have done it within the first 60 days. Wow. Okay. And by the way, to give you a number, I didn't give you the numbers because I figured you'd be more interested in the percentages, but that's not 491 out of the 520 who relisted within the 60-day period. And then you can also look at, these getting into the weeds and how much you like to be analytical, but the first month is 74%, and then the second month of them being expired, you only add another 20%. But there is another 20% to be had, so you should continue to market for them. But if you can only do a short campaign, do the first 30 days. It's also, just like you've heard before, it's critical to get out to these people as fast as possible and to get into a conversation with them, because they do plan. The ones that they want to relist are going to do it quickly. Okay, so I think that's very helpful. Let me look and see. Yeah, I didn't have any other interesting stats there. That might be valuable to you to know how quickly things are happening. And remember, you got to look at your own individual market. Pretty quick and easy to do this research out of your MLS. If you just take a little bit of time and do some calculations and figure out the dates. You're going off of the dates, and it's pretty cool, right? All right. So I hope that's been valuable to you. If it has, if you like this kind of information, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. And if you want to hear more information like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. And also, if you have any comments on this, do you think that this is really fast? Do you think this matches what is happening in your market? Do you think it's slow for what's happening in your market? Go ahead and tell me down in the comments section. Love to hear from you down there. All right, hope this has been helpful. Take care. Bye now.